Be sure to hit the like, share this content. Let friends, neighbors know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. That's included the ice wall, baby. Stand tall or not at all.
Ready? Run from it.
Come on. Be consistent, baby. Happy Friday to you, and you. Labor Day is on its way. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy your weekend, baby. Come on. Mama said there'll be days, literally, just like this.
What more do you want from me?
Yo. They say ain't no party like a cowboy party. What about a Law Nations groove? From my studios to yours. More and more. More and more. More and more. Come on, baby. Well, you better watch out, Luther. I'm coming. Come on. 5, 4, 3. Come on. Come on with it, baby. Come on with it. Where we at? I know we live. Come on, baby. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on. What? Hey. Oh. Come on with it, baby. Yeah. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, baby. Appreciate everybody for jumping in and tuning in and being part of these type of episodes. I hope that you guys have a wonderful and beautiful weekend. We're going to jump in and talk about this conversation. Sometimes respect is a two-way street, right? Love is a multiple-way street, but that's a whole nother conversation. But when Dak Prescott stated or lamented this part right here, I want to say this. It says a lot if the deal is not done. By the start of the season, that's the more context that you would need with this. Now, sometimes people got to understand that mutually. There are people that's in relations that ride with things when everything is good. Then there are people within the confines of relations that will leave when everything is bad, right? And on top of that, when someone is rolling with you, right, they roll with you either because they respect you, either because they love you, or they want to see the best out of you. But there's always someone that will roll with you that's willing to shank you with the butter knife. Shame.
Shame.
Let me know if I'm lying.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
People fail to realize, man, there was a dude named Judas. He was a disciple too. He rolled with him. You know, he saw all of the miracles. He saw all of the things that was going good, and he was riding with him. But then he was like, shoot. You know, and there's a Judas in everybody's camp now. Come on now. You know, let me know if I'm lying.
Shame.
Yeah. So there's some people that will ride with you just to stab you in your back. And on top of that,
It's an evil world we live in.
yeah, because humility with dignity, not everybody got that. You know, not everybody got, ain't that right, Rev? Shout out to you that's in the chat. There's a lot of people that will say, man, if I know the person that's going to shank me or stab me in my back, I'm not finna help them out, right? I'm not finna do things to help them out. So there's humility with dignity, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on with these particular conversations, right? So with the ideology of Dak Prescott, we talking about generational money, millions upon millions. And the thing of it all, ladies and gentlemen, the thing of it all, you got to see where you want to be, where your feet are at. And this is the reality of it, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, let me read this quote right here. You could easily say, if you haven't seen it by now, you haven't seen it, you know. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, that's Jerry Wayne and them. That's what he said. Now, granted, we're going to play some of the audio, right? We're going to play some of that. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, that right there is a knife, man. That's a full knife in the back. And for those who want Dak Prescott to be gone, for those who's on the other end of the conversation about Dak Prescott saying that, hey, see, Law, I told you, the Joneses, they not all in on Dak, man. Look, I'm going to give you your flowers now. Yeah.
Right. I want my flowers while I'm living.
You right. Shoot. It's the writing on the wall. That is the truth of it. That is the writing on the wall. If you could easily say, if you haven't seen it by now, you haven't seen it. Let me say that one more time. If you haven't seen it by now, you haven't seen it. And then this Dak Prescott's response. I stopped honestly listening to things Jerry Jones, quote unquote, says to the media a long time ago. It doesn't really hold weight with me. God, dog.
It's an evil world we live in.
Woo! At this point and at this time, for your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Who sing that song? If you don't know me by now, then you will never. Who sing that song? I need to have them to sing it, you know. But that's the reality. If you don't know me by now. So that's just what it is. So here's Jerry Jones right here.
What more do you want to see?
What more do you want from me?
Dak Prescott to give him a new contract.
Well, you could easily say, if you hadn't seen it by now, you haven't seen it.
God dang. Wow. God dang. Shit. Jerry, what you doing, man? Jerry, what are you doing? Come on, Teddy Pendergrass sung that song. Yeah, Teddy was on something. Come on.
What more do you want to see? What more do you need to see for Dak Prescott to give him a new contract?
Well, you could easily say, if you hadn't seen it by now, you haven't seen it.
Oh, my gosh. Was it Womack, Bobby and them? Who sung that song? And LaBelle? Well, shout out to Bobby Womack. A lot of people can say this tongue in cheek, but man, this is the levels of a two-way street with this, with respect, right? You don't have to like me, but you got to respect me. That's the name of the game. Shout out to you, Brandy. She said, shut up, Jerry. Shut up. Yeah. Yeah.
Get your damn act together.
Yeah, Jerry. So this is the thing. And I get the pundits. I get the critics. I get the people that's going to say, hey, man, it's time to move on. And if you haven't seen it by now, you would never see it, or it's not going to be visible. And that's from the lenses of the man that got to cut the check.
And so I'm such a fan of Dak's and appreciate all of the great things that we all know that he's there. And I appreciate his work ethic probably more than anything out here. And
I'm a fan of Dak Prescott. I appreciate his work ethics and all of these things. As a manager, when I was managing, there's multiple ways when it's time for you to get rid of your favorite employer or the person that been doing some results that you like, but not really getting the job done. Those are the hardest people to let go. And what we call is a philosophy where you learn in business school. It's called build, break, build. Johnny, we really like you. You come to work on time. Phenomenal. That's building up Johnny. And then you put in, nevertheless, our company got different sights of views where we're trying to head. And unfortunately, the parameters of your job is not getting the job done. We have lost X, Y, and Z on our last stats or whatever, and unfortunately, we will have to let you go. However, there will be a great recommendation on your job and your success and your accolades that we will forward along the way. That's build, break, build, right? And that's classic 101 to anybody that's in any business or whoever got to perform a PIP, performance improvement plan. If you work with those parameters, y'all know exactly what I'm saying, right? And sometimes this happens not because of the talent of said agent or player or this sometimes happens or states that goes along the way. Not because the worker is a bad person. We doing cuts, man. We cutting people down. We got to make sure that we can bring in the next crew of people with this particular money. That's how Jerry Jones is talking. Not saying that Dak Prescott would not be here for the foreseeable future. But at some point, at some time, Dak Prescott must consider a few things in order to shake this dude around. Because one thing I know for sure, billionaires with the B, most of the times when it's a collective thought, they are heartless. They are heartless. True story. A couple years back, there was an ice storm that hit Dallas. The guy that's on this picture literally raised and hiked the prices of the gas. So people in the city had to pay more money. That was a profit opportunity, not a loss opportunity. So thousands of people in the city had to see a spike on their gas prices. That's just how it is. It's an advantage. It's taking advantages of the situation. And what most people would say is business, unfortunately.
What more do you want to see? What more do you need to see for Dak Prescott to give him a new contract?
Well, you could easily say, if you hadn't seen it by now, you haven't seen it. And so I'm such a fan of Dak's and appreciate all of the great things that we all know that he's there. And I appreciate his work ethic probably more than anything out here. And I can't tell you how proud I am that we've got him this year to start this campaign. Needing to see, I just gave an explanation of where when you look at a situation, you've also got to weigh, okay, what are the consequences of the other side of the coin? And so Dak's situation right now, for me, from my mirror, has more to do with our situation than it does with the merits of Dak Prescott being quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, get it done. Get it done. Now, two sides to every situation. I think that the Cowboys would be a better team with Dak Prescott. Show of hands. If you believe Dak Prescott makes this team better, put one in the chat. No, put 4 in the chat. If you believe Dak Prescott on the team makes the team better. Put 0 in the chat if you think he don't make the team better. That's just a simple thing that I can put out here. Because so many people that ask upon, like, who else do you want? Who else would you want on this team to make this team better? And the 4s outweigh the 0s, ladies and gentlemen. I think a lot of people in here got common sense. The people with the 0s, they don't have common sense. Like, who do you want? When I ask the question every single time, who do you want? Do y'all truly believe in the last few years that Cooper Rush would have been 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 here? Do y'all truly believe, based off of the preseason data, that if we were to say, all right, cool, we're going to have Trigger Trey to be our quarterback, and we would have had the exact same results in these last 3 years? I got land on the moon for sale if you definitely believe. If you believe Trigger Trey could have did the exact same things that Dak Prescott was able to do in the last 3 years, or the last how many years, put 19 in the chat. Because here's the thing. I get it. I understand where we are thinking that, hey, we lost the playoffs because of 4. Well, damn it, on the offense, who else stood tall? Who else was being able to be a difference maker? Because when I go back to through the historical data of the Cowboys, when we're talking about Roger Staubach, it's not just Roger Staubach. There's multitudes of different folks that we can bring up. A Tony Dorsett, a Drew Pearson. Oh my God, don't have me to talk about Doomsday Defense. That's way in the 70s, right? And then if I go to the 90s, there's no way, there's nobody that's in this chat that can say, yeah, man, 8 was him. It was just him. It was only that we could win with 8. I saw 22. I saw 88. I saw 84. Oh, my goodness, man. The list is long. I saw 94. Come on, man. We can go on and on with numbers, man. But somehow you guys fixed it that in order for the Cowboys to win, in order for the Cowboys to get over the hump, it's 4 problem. It's Dak Prescott only, right? Like, I get it if we were to lose the last game against Green Bay, let's say, for example, 13-10 or something like that, I would get that. You know, I would understand. I understand to a degree, a slight degree of us losing in 2022 versus the San Francisco. I understand to a slight degree, to the slightest degree. Even that game was still within reach, but nobody quantified the other things. We had a kicker that couldn't kick better than me, right? We lost our right tackle. And on top of that, our explosive running back ankle was busting through his sock because it was broken into pieces, right? That was Tony Pollard. And we had the youngest offensive coordinator who couldn't fight himself out of a wet paper bag, calling crazy plays on 2nd and 2. We go empty. We don't even have a damn running back in the backfield. So everybody, mama, uncle knew that they was throwing the ball, and he put a 4 curls by you. Everybody, when we looked at the tape, we sat there and saw the doggone DBs, the linebackers, everybody sitting on the 2. Because they knew that, hey, that's where the first down is at. So I get it. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's not like the San Fran blew us out. But we did lose that game. We lost that game. But the craziest thing, and this is the craziest thing, the same thing that we complain and bitch and moan about, excuse my French, was the very next week, they played the Green Bay Packer team. They were 13-4 that year. I'm talking about Green Bay Packers. They had the better quarterback. They had the better wide receiver, allegedly. And they had all of those things. They had a home game. And they lost to the same team we lost to, the 49ers. But neither here nor there. Not to water that argument down. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. There's no big I's, no little U's, and you have to be on a team that everybody tote their weight. Here's the thing that everybody is overlooking and not looking at, even with Pat Mahomes. He can't get it done by himself. Pat Mahomes cannot get it done by himself. Because whenever you mention Pat Mahomes, I want you guys to bang on the table and also mention Chris Jones. I want y'all to do that. Yeah. What's good with y'all, man? Appreciate everybody. It's a team sport, and that's just what it is. Because right now, Pat Mahomes he will be without that Super Bowl ring last year. If Chris Jones was not able to get pressure. Remember, the 49ers was at the 9-yard line. They were 9 yards away from winning the Super Bowl. And let me know who was able to hold them boys down. It wasn't the offense. It was clearly the defense. Yeah. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, different strokes for different folks, I guess, you know. So this is what it says. Dak says a lot deal is not done by the season start. And there's a great article. I want to give my guy his flowers, Nick, for being here in this chat. But before we go here, let me get this right here. Boom. This video. And I'm going to pin this to the top of the screen here. Appreciate everybody for jumping in and being part of this episode here. Wrong one. Let me pin this one right here. Boom. Yeah, here we go. Boom. There we go. And here we go right here. Boom. Check out this article by Nick, and it goes into details there. Lawley says, are all pros look like rookies in the playoff time? But it's Dak's fault. Laugh out loud. You're right. You're 1,000% right. And that is not even up for debate. It's clearly not up for debate, right? Yeah. Yeah. And that's just how that goes as well. All right. So what we want to do here is I want to enlighten, this particular conversation with this part of it, because we got a chance to talk a little bit about this just the other day. But before we go into details, I want to shed light upon my guy Osa. I think Osa is a guy that a lot of people are overlooking as well, right? And not paying attention to. Like I said, it takes a complete team. And I think that with Osa, he's in a contract year. Salute to Osa. I think that he should be a guy that's also get paid down the stretch. But let me put this up right quick. And shout out to Brandon Laurie. He states here in 2023, Cowboys Osa Odighi had a 12.1% pressure rate against double teams, second amongst defensive tackles. The top three defensive tackles in that category is Ed Oliver, Osa, and then Quinnen Williams. Now, Ed Oliver and Quinnen Williams, I know a lot of us would love to see him on this particular team, those particular guys, but it just doesn't work that way. I would tell you guys, hop on the hype train before it leaves. This is from Brandon Laurie. I would say this, though. There's been a lot of times that we get penetration, right, and we don't get home. There have been a lot of times that we would get a situation where Osa will beat out his double team, and we still don't get home. There's been a lot of times that when you're talking about defensive tackles in general, that even when they do win off for their jobs, is responsible for the linebackers to fill holes, fill gaps. The problem is, to go back into details of this particular situation with our defense last season, been this one little issue that we didn't have linebackers to fit. But this season, what I've seen with our defensive front when the starters was out there, especially in training camp, you've seen linebackers fitting holes, being able to scrape, disengage. So I think that this will be a breakout. And I'm not saying that it took this long for Osa to break out, but I truly believe that even with Osa, by the Cowboys getting Jordan Phillips, by also the Cowboys getting Linval Joseph, by the Cowboys making sure that they re-solidify their defensive tackle line or interior line, you're going to see a better Osa, because one of the knocks on Osa game was down the stretch. Down the stretch, he kind of dissipates. He disappears a little bit. He kind of goes away. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We put some reinforcements to that point, and I see that particular situation, people pay attention to what they value the most. Let me repeat this again. People pay attention to what they value the most. And when you start talking about Zim, in order for his mugger to work, in order for his double A gap blitzes to work, you need to have guys that's going to be fresh and know what the hell they're doing with their hands, know how to penetrate, get upfield, know how to take on blockers. We got that now. Watch how this defense is going to flow and rally to the ball. Now, of course, we need Eric Kendricks to stay healthy, Damone Clark to really show us something this year as well. But I think that our linebackers this season is a whole lot better than what we were last season. But I just want to throw that defensive point in before we go into this Dak Prescott conversation right here. All right, so Dak Prescott said he doesn't have a new contract before the season starts, but I think it says a lot. So let's listen to that audio right quick about this. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Just bear with me. Hail Mary. Well, here we go right here.
CD got paid. Are you next? Well, the natural question is, CD got paid. Are you next?
Not really sure. Not my focus anymore, to be honest with you. Told you guys that really can't say ever was really my focus. It's about making myself and this team better, getting us in the best position and the most confident to go up to Cleveland and start the season off with a win.
Have you instructed continue with Todd, or do you want to shut him down when the season starts?
No, I mean that's up to Todd and those guys. Once again, I'm not going to be a part of them here as the season starts. And they've been going obviously heavily through Todd and Steven both. So yeah, it's just all part of it. As I said, my job and my focus now is control what I can. And as I said, back in camp, it's two parts to this. Both sides have to come to the agreement.
You don't need a deal done before the season.
I don't need no.
Would you like it done before the season?
I think it says a lot if it is or if it isn't. But however, doesn't really matter to me, to be honest with you.
What is it?
He said it doesn't matter, but it says a lot. And shout out to Clarence, boy. Clarence been on one, right? Clarence everywhere, man. Shoot. Everybody calling Clarence to jump on their podcast. I need to call Clarence. Hit me up, dog. And here's the thing. The focal point should be Browns. We need to come out the gate with a dub. I think we need to come out with a gate with the dub. On the Browns, there's a law for the Browns, and the Browns law over there saying, yeah, man, we need to come up with a win. Got a super chat. Let the AI speak on it. Appreciate you. What we got here?
Marilyn, Blossom, $10. Hey, Law, keep up the great work. Thumbs up. Where are you going to be this season for the home games?
Okay.
I want to make sure I show support. Blue heart, blue heart, blue heart.
Oh, yeah. We got some conversation things that's going on. We should be a salute to Cowboys experience. We'll be out there at those events as well the day before the game, Mary, and as well as during the game, we're working on a deal. I don't want to outspeak my wisdom teeth, but we're very, very close to an agreement. I'm like my guy Dak Prescott. If the deal get done, before the season kick off, I would like it. But if it don't, then I know where we at, right? But neither here nor there. Let's get back to this conversation. I really appreciate you so much for your love and adulations there, Mary. I really appreciate you, and I always have a glowing spirit. I love that about you. Yeah. Now let's get this going.
Just say if it isn't.
Just how people feel.
I don't know. How do you feel? How do you feel if it is?
You're right about that.
You open that door.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, you open that door.
Jerry said the negotiation isn't about your merit as the Cowboys quarterback, but more about their cap situation. What do you take from that when he says, it's not really about what you're doing?
Yeah, I understand that. That's the business and the nature of this game that we play.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped, honestly, listening to things that he says to the media a long time ago. So it doesn't really hold weight with me.
Yeah, so that's the full quote, unquote, of Dak Prescott talking about this particular caption that we had up on the screen. My thoughts of it all is Dak loves the team more than the team or the owner loves him. So let me say that again. Dak loves the team more than the owner of the team or the person that's in control loves him. And the reason why I say that in that particular fashion is because most of the other quarterbacks would have sat down and said to themselves, I'm not finna entertain this. No, I'm not finna go to practice until I get my new contract. I'm going to hold out. It works for other guys. But Dak Prescott, he went out there regardless of the situation and worked out, didn't show any levels of holding out for his money. And that's just what it is. So my thing is, when you do those type of things, because it's a two-way street, right? Where are your priorities, right? If that's your guy, then you make sure that that's your guy. If that's your person, you make sure that's your person. You will make sure that you make concessions to make those things happen. What they call it, ladies and gentlemen, ultimatum, right? And we're not seeing those things being worked into those particular categories. Now, Jerry is a marketing guru. He's a marketing genius. Because at the end of the day, if the Cowboys decide to sign Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and we went through all of this rigmarole, all this offseason, then damn it, they could have did this months ago. They could have did this in March. We would have had more and more money, more and more resources to go get free agents, to get free agent players. That's how the business thing works. But by dragging this all through the offseason, everybody, is CeeDee going to play? Is CeeDee going to hold out? Is CeeDee? And people were already crafting their minds. There's a lot of people right now, they can't even stand CeeDee because of the fact that they're saying he's selfish. He should have been out there, man. I get paragraphs upon paragraphs of folks crying about, hey, man, he signed a 5-year option, man. That's $17 million. He's selfish, Law. I want him to go, man. I can't stand CeeDee, man. He's supposed to be out there. And I say, hey, man, every player is a Ryan Shazier hit away. And it don't matter how much facts I put upon and I pour about to the people, they won't listen. And their eyes are useless when the mind is blind, right? Because they can't even see it. That if CeeDee Lamb were at practice, let's say 4 or 5 weeks ago, and the same thing that happened to Deron Bland, do you think he's going to get this contract, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think that CeeDee Lamb would have been able, just give me a yes or no in the chat. Do you think that he would have been able to get the contract that he have today? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, if he didn't hold out and he was like, yeah, all right, and then dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, where my button at? The breaking news button. Where my button at? Here we go. Breaking news, CeeDee Lamb signs a $34 million. That deal would have been like, nah, you're going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. We're not finna give you that. No. So, yeah, he held out, worked on his own. If the Cowboys were to give him that deal before the season really kicked off, like in March sometime, we'd have been able to have all types of money to be able to go out there and grab someone. Jeff Bezos needs to hurry up and buy the team. Yeah, he do. Chris 214. It's money first, football second for the Joneses. Yeah. You ain't lying. Money first, football second. So here's my thoughts even with Dak Prescott. I know we got to get that contract done. If not, then he said, hey, he's not worried about it. Of course, it's to a degree. Whereas he's still gonna get $55 million this year. As far as against the cap, I think cash spent is going to be right at 28 to 30 million, whatever that is. It's going into his pocket, and then he's still not off the hook for next season for $40 million, and then he can pick to where he need to go or want to go. So that's the reality of it. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Cowboys shouldn't play this game with Michael Parsons. We shouldn't, because I'm tired. I'm tired of going back and forth, going over, do this guy's worth this, do this guy's worth that. But we the only team that will hold each other like that. Let's listen to this statement right here. And let me put some cover over because the ESPN, y'all know how that goes. And to a degree, I agree with Stephen A. Smith to a degree. And I disagree with Stephen A. Smith to a degree. And I get it. Most people will say, hey, if you've been here for 8 years, I want 8 Super Bowls. I want 8 playoff wins at least. I want 8 great playoff games at least. And he don't have that on his resume. He don't, and that's Dak Prescott. Fashion Line says, actually, 50 Cent needs to buy this team. Oh, Lord. That would be crazy. They would never allow 50 Cent to buy this team.
Dak Prescott probably would need to leave Dallas. But Jerry Jones also should consider wanting him to. At some point in time, you got to produce. You got to show up. And it has to be in the postseason. See, we can't look at basketball with LeBron James, at baseball with an Aaron Judge or somebody on the Dodgers, in boxing, whether it's a Deontay Wilder or, Ryan Garcia or Devontae Davis or somebody. We can't look at
how you gonna put Ryan Garcia
Djokovic and all of these guys. We can't look at golf with Tiger Woods or whomever else we want to come up with in this day and age, because we know that Tiger Woods ain't what he used to be. We can't look at stars and say the moment is important with them, but when it comes to Dak Prescott, we gonna lean on the regular season. We gonna lean on moments that really are not nearly as important as the bigger moments when talking about championship equation. Dak Prescott is not a scrub, and I hope he's watching.
I agree.
He is a terrific football player. He is a terrific quarterback. He was runner-up for league MVP, y'all. Last year to Lamar Jackson.
All right.
He is all that and a bag of chips.
You probably wouldn't, or you probably shouldn't. God dog it you. Forehead go all the way back and got a salute like this. You probably shouldn't do this, Stephen Day. See, you were rolling. But now you done outspoke your wisdom teeth, right? If you got them, and your hairline grew back and it went away, So here's the truth. When you said Lamar Jackson, don't you know with the set of circumstances that the quarterback that plays for the America's team, Dak Prescott, when he got a run game that can give us 3 yards or more, he's undefeated. Lamar Jackson, damn it, got run game that allows in the playoff to average north of 5 yards per carry, and he got a juggernaut of a defense that can get takeaways and can shut down the opposing team. I get it, y'all. I know that most of y'all think that we had the kinds of calibers of defense that the Ravens had. But I'm going to tell you, the Ravens defense, yeah. They wasn't giving up yards and allowing the opposing players to run 8 and 9 yards without touch. Come on, man. And I get it. But how come the quarterback that everybody loved, Lamar, Joshua, Allen, and all of those boys, how come they're not winning multiple Super Bowls? How come their playoff numbers are not just crazy better? How come? Oh, oops, it's a team game. Oh, let's go. Listen.
Until Christmas expires. Once Christmas passes, and New Year arrives, and the playoffs are about to begin, there's an APB out for that brother. And the fact of the matter is, he hasn't been found in 5 years. When we gonna say it? It's time to say it. Now, I said this before, and I'm gonna give y'all the numbers and put Kimberly and Woody up on the screen so everybody, I wanna see it. First 4 seasons, Dak Prescott, 2 Pro Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
1 playoff win, earned $4.9 million.
Nah.
Last 4 seasons, 1 playoff victory, 1 Pro Bowl appearance, $157.4 million. When the brother got paid,
right,
the results didn't come with him.
Everyone have a reason but results are what matter, right? Put that somewhere in your mindset or on your calendar. So dare I say, I get it. We want to play players based off of their postseason. So what if I told you guys in the last 4 years, Jimmy Garoppolo had a better success storyline in the postseason than Aaron Rodgers, right? Better than Lamar Jackson. Can I go a little bit further? And then Joshua Allen. Better than most of these, Trevor Lawrence. Let me say this, what's the other guy named? Deshaun Watson. So based off of that analogy and theory, should Jimmy Garoppolo get $60 million? Come on, $60 million, you know, because at the end of the day, I get it. What most people say, well, Dak Prescott had 5 touchdowns in the playoff game 2 seasons ago, right? You can name any other Dallas player that has stepped up in the playoffs. I'm trying to know who else stepped up. And then you got Herb, who's a starter, right? Wait a minute. This dude been a starter for 4 years, and he got 0 playoff wins. Can somebody let me know, what did Justin Herbert get as it relates to immunization? Huh? I need to know. Oh my gosh, man. But at the end of the day, it's okay. It's cool for Trevor Lawrence to say, okay, give me my money. It's cool for Herb to say, give me my money. Deshaun Watson to say, give me my money. David says, what about Daniel Jones' contract? Now, that is what it is. And then, of course, it goes on through an array of what other people had to say about this. And some people agree wholeheartedly. All I'm asking is, okay, let's move on from Dak. Who do you want that's available? Because even if you want Joe Burrows, and I like Joe Burrows, but he plays for Cincinnati, and he ain't open on the free market to come to Dallas. Sometimes you got to love the one you're with, ride the horse you rode in on. Now, if the Cowboys are willing to go through this situation, say, you know what, I'm done with Dak Prescott. Let's just see what it's going to look like on the other end. Just be mindful that what y'all saw, the Shador Sanders and whoever the quarterback going into next season, coming out of the draft, it's 0 guarantees, because this team still going to win you north of 10 games. There's no way we're going to be able to draft any of those quarterbacks that y'all can fall in love with. The Cowboys, outside of an injury, still going to win you multiple games. I don't think that this particular coaching staff is of the kinds of caliber of even being as low as the years of Dave Campo. What Dave Campo record was? 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. Even then, we didn't suck enough to be able to draft a Michael Vick, a Peyton Manning. But damn it, we still got a chance. We circled the block and got a Ryan Leaf. Who remember Ryan Leaf? Yeah, so this team is still going to win you north of 10 games at minimum, especially when you have 4 on this team. The only way this team win less than 8 games or less than 7 games if you get some type of crazy injury. Timothy says 10 if you're lucky. Look, here's the thing. And you're going to be one of the people, and I hope that you stick around towards the end. You'll be one of the people to say the Cowboys are going to go win on his 5 games, win on his 6 games. Then we get to the playoffs, you're the same person that will raise the expectations to say, hey, the Cowboys suck. They're supposed to win in the playoff. They're supposed to win the Super Bowl. But on the front end of the season, you'd a very much so person say they won't even win 5 games. They won't even win 6 games. They won't even win 7 games. That's the logic of most of the people that hate on the Cowboys. They don't even have us going to the postseason. And then when we get to the postseason, y'all supposed to say that, hey, we supposed to win the damn Super Bowl. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. But it's crazy. Shout out to you, Eric Stewart. Shout out to you. But at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this, though. Before we open up the phone lines, and let me give y'all the phone line number, 657-390-7391. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. But what I want to do is what's pinned at the top of the page is a direct link to one of our sponsors today. And this sponsor, you're getting 15% off of Via. It is one of your natural remedies to a lot of things, especially going through life cycles if you're having difficulties and struggles sleeping, and if you need to be revived with energy. Oh my God, man, we got a lot of good things going on with them. I can't wait to show you guys what we have to enhance your day with Via. This is the award-winning cannabis gummies that's designed to support your life. And check it out, man. I promise you, it will be a situation to help you go through a rigorous day. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, personally, I'm going to say this, though, personally, I was one of those people that was probably, you would say, man, he's against the sticky icky. But I would tell you, about 3 years ago, I had a loved one that was fighting and dealing with cancer. And one of the things that I can tell you to help alleviate most of those pains been these THCs. And I'm going to tell you, getting one of these things can revive your energy and beyond, and it can also help you go through the course of your day. So check out Via. The information is in the description box. Be sure to check that out. If you're 21 years or older, they can ship to 50, all of the states in the United States for sure. On top of that, when you think of it, this would be a good thing, a good gift box or gift surprise to your loved one who's going through or battling through anything that they may be overcoming. So here I got the whole gift setup box right here, ladies and gentlemen. And personally, I do like the one with the mushrooms in it. You know what I'm saying? Here we go, Revive. This is the Revive one that I've taken, especially if you're trying to recover and get things back going. So check that out, and you can get 15% off by using promo code LAW. Here's the other thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, for this weekend, they don't have just 15% off. They absolutely have for the Labor Day. They have 20% off. So you get an extra 5% off by using the Labor Day code. But I'm going to tell you, throughout beyond Labor Day weekend, you can use LAW, L-A-W. Let's go to the phone lines, and I appreciate everybody, man. The hotline for your mind is 657-390-7391. And be sure to check out our sponsors. The information is in the description box. Let's get it. And, my first person that's out here, man, is Chris 214, man, from the 469. What's on your mind, dog? Chris.
What's up, Law?
What's up, man? What's good? What's good with you?
Oh, not much, man. I'm just here at work, so I ain't gonna be too long.
All right. We'll go ahead. What you got? It's an open topic, though, but we can primarily talk about the Browns or the Dak Prescott conversation. I think he's still going to get signed, but I love the way the marketing strategy of the Jones is to push this out. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to talk about Dak. Man, I don't think our fan base is ready to be without a quarterback. If we having meltdowns in the playoffs like the one that we did, imagine if we go 4-12, 3-14. Like, we can't even handle a good season.
Right.
How are we gonna handle being trash like the New York Jets? So for the people that saying, "Oh, get rid of Dak," and they just looking at Dak only. Yeah. No, bro, this is the ultimate team sport. Like, we got to be better. And I believe Boss Cowboy, I believe he said this. He said the transition going from Romo to Dak was probably the worst thing to happen to this fan base, because we think that we can just grab a quarterback off a tree like it's just that easy to replace.
Well, let me say this. It's not easy.
Been fortunate.
It's three teams that come to mind that I can say, and then two got lucky. But I will say this, though. Let's move the Cowboys out of that situation. The Green Bay transition, they handled that really well. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, now Aaron Rodgers to Love. That's really good. That they didn't handle that, but those were very much so planned situations, right? Very much so planned situations. The other team to come to mind that had that transition from a good quarterback to another one, can we throw in? Now they struggled for a year though, didn't the Texans? They had Deshaun Watson. Then they struggled, right? When he left, it was like I think they organically tanked that year because they only won like 1 or 2 games. Yeah. And then they got CJ, who's looking like that's panning out for them. It's similar to you can say the Colts. They went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck, right?
To Andrew Luck.
That was planned, and it's difficult, man, for the Cowboys to even move slightly that way, because the planning operation is the Cowboys don't draft well with quarterbacks out of the first round, or at least when it's leaked or who they really wanted. Johnny Manziel and Paxton Lynch, those are names that come to mind of who they really wanted in the first round. So Connor Cook. So I would say this, though. Whatever Boss Cowboy Sports said, that was the worst thing to happen from Romo to Dak Prescott, because people don't understand the difficulties that it is to find a quarterback. He's right on the money. He's right on the money. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we just need to do better as a fan base. But, all right, Law, that's all I had. We got Cleveland week 1. Let's turn up.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Appreciate you for calling in. It's Chris 214. So we seen teams like you guys put down. That's a good exercise, to discover like what teams did to go get their quarterback that they really wanted. The other team that did it to a degree, we can say the Chiefs, right? Alex Smith, what they went 11-5, something like that. Is that correct? And then they drafted Pat Mahomes, right? And he sat behind Pat Mahomes. Well, Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith, and that worked out for them. So now that I'm thinking, damn it, this is a normal thing. Just to be objective. Chargers did it. They had Drew Brees, who was a second-round draft pick who really couldn't really get them over. Kept getting hurt. He had one of his best seasons, and he hurt his arm or his throwing shoulder at the end of that year. And I think they drafted Phillip Rivers, right? They drafted Phillip Rivers. They said, let's go and make this be Phillip Rivers' team. And Drew Brees had a choice to either go to Miami or the Saints, and he decided to go to the Saints. All right, let me go again. I'm thinking now. Y'all got me thinking. Y'all got my mind rolling, right? Who else did this? It backfired. The Giants did it, right? It had Eli Manning. He was getting long in the tooth, and they said, "All right, let's go get Daniel Jones." It backfired. Daniel Jones is not even on Eli's scale, right? And before Eli, who really helped Eli out, believe it or not, was Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner went to the Giants, and they were like, "All right, let's see if he can help Eli out." All right, let's see who else. Eagles. Jay Versus says Eagles did it from Wentz to Hurts. That was very calculated and planned. That was very calculated and planned. Do the Joneses have that ability to calculate and plan? All right, and we are naming, and I'm trying to be objective as possible with that conversation of if you decide to move on. Now, we can say this, though. No one had the season before like the kind of caliber of season Dak Prescott had before they moved on. All right, so let's go with I got Too Cool from the 910. You in? Talk to me.
Hey, no, I got a question.
Yep, I got answers.
Why do the Cowboys have to be handcuffed to Dak?
Because of the money for right now.
No, I'm saying.
It's because of the money.
A lot of people are assuming that the Cowboys should keep Dak. Why should the Cowboys be handcuffed to Dak?
Because you got 55 and 40, so you got those two things. Now, granted, this is my thing right here. You always want to get something back in return. That's the argument. You want, like, for example, how come why the Eagles were not handcuffed to Carson Wentz? Go.
Wentz he didn't do anything.
No. He was almost a MVP. He got a Super Bowl ring, although he was sitting on the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got 35 or something like $35 million. You know why they wasn't handcuffed to him? You know why? Come on, I know you got it.
The deal? You talking about the contract?
Because of the contract, he didn't have an anti or no trade clause on the contract, and they got something back in return. The name of the game is getting something back in return. That's just the name of the game. They got something back in return. They drafted a quarterback who they thought for sure that they can groom and develop, and he fit like a glove to Shane Steichen's system, right? He fit like a glove to Shane Steichen's system, and that's one thing that people can literally look back on. And what happened here ultimately that they were able to get from under that contract because there was no trade clause on that contract, and they got something back in return. So it's easier to break up with your Swedes when you got another Swedes on the way. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, Too Cool. But go ahead.
So you said they want to get something in return if they move on from him, right? So I feel like Jerry Jones is about to set the trend for stopping quarterbacks from being paid. Because Trevor Lawrence shouldn't be getting paid all that money. Jordan Love shouldn't get paid all that money. Jordan Love had 8 games of film for him to get paid, north of $50 million? So why is it an issue that get paid $55 million this year, and Jerry Jones is saying, I want something in return. So before I give you another huge contract, go out there and show me what you can do. I feel like everybody trying to force a contract. Everybody is forcing. It's not like that.
Here's the thing, though, Too Cool. I get exactly your point. Our point of those who are saying to go ahead and pay him now is for the very much so reason why you want to pay him less. You see, if we wouldn't be having this conversation, we'd be talking about something else if he was already paid at the end of the year 2022. You would have been able to scoop in and give him $52 million. You would have been able to do that. But now you don't have that opportunity. You can't go back. You can't say, okay, now I want him at that rate. Just like the whole conversation we just been through this with CeeDee Lamb. You could have easily scooped up CeeDee Lamb for 28 to maybe 31, 32 if you'd have paid him early. But by paying him late, you dragged this out. Now you're paying him 34.
Yeah, but that's only $2 million to a billionaire who has the money.
No. It's not about the billionaire who has the money. It's about the cap that everybody have to bow down to. Everybody got to bow down to the cap.
Yeah, but the issue though is this: we keep talking about the cap, but the quarterback position alone itself is hurting the game of football. Now, Jamar Chase is holding out, which is understandable. The man gets paid $1 million, just $1 million. Dak Prescott is getting paid $55 million. So if he held out and didn't go to training camp, didn't go to practice or any of that stuff, everybody would be losing their minds and they're not going to games because Jerry Jones hasn't paid a player that's getting paid $55 million this year. All this owner is saying is that Dak Prescott, you're gonna earn it because
that's the whole argument altogether. Like, he's the only quarterback that got to earn it. Law, did Trevor Law, did he had to earn that $55 million? You see what I'm saying?
But he don't pay for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he don't pay for the Cowboys. That is the card. That is the card right there to say, hey man, he don't play for the Cowboys. But he is driving up his own price. That's what I'm saying, by not acting early with sense of urgency. Now, I get the reservations. We want results. If I pay for a Lamborghini, I want Lamborghini results. I don't want to pay for a Lamborghini and get Civic results, right? So I want the results, but the expectation got to be laid out clearly and plainly. And that's where I think that the Cowboys' expectations are too not real. It's not tangible enough, because the expectation was Super Bowl or bust. Put it like this: when we had Chan Gailey here, when we had Dave Campo here, the expectation was still Super Bowl or bust. That's regardless of the situation of who's the owner or who's the coach. You see what I'm saying?
No, I just think that's football. Period. Like if you love the game, you love winning. No. I'm just saying, if I'm a player and I love the game, I don't go to the beginning of the year and say, shit, I just want to win 10 games. I just want to make the playoffs, and then that's it. Every single person should be going to the year saying they want to win a Super Bowl.
Man, if the Cards was 12-5 last year and this year, and they had the possibility of being 12, their fan base would be really happy. If the Raiders was 12-5, it would be a whole different world of Raider nations over there. Now, granted, yes, the cherry on top of the ice cream will be, I ultimately want to win the Super Bowl. Right? And we can all say that those expectations should be for every team out there. But the realism part of it is that there are teams who's been suffering and barely making it. Not even going to the playoff is a luxury. It's not really a guarantee. And the Cowboys, to me, we've been going to the playoff. I'm not saying that we should have a parade because we're going to the playoff. But people think that it's easy and it's not. But go ahead. One more point before I let the next call on.
Yeah, all right, Lo. But so my thing with Dak is this:
right.
You get paid $55 billion. You got 7 players on defense, don't even equate to $55 million. All I'm saying is I get what Jerry Jones is saying.
Right.
I just need somebody to tell me name one playoff game where Dak earned $55 million, where he, the quarterback, put the team, the most important position, put the team on his back and said, you know what, the defense sucking right now. I'm gonna drive us down here and win this game.
And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make too cool. Like, name me that one drive that Trevor Lawrence was able to do, that Joshua Allen, why he haven't been to the Super Bowl, or Lamar Jackson. You see, that's why we'd say it's an ultimate team sport. The same argument could be made to all of these guys that's getting paid $250 million, but to only pin that on Dak Prescott is disingenuous.
No. Y'all argument is, if another player is getting it, why shouldn't Dak? That should not be the argument. The argument should be quarterbacks are getting paid too much money. They're not earning their pay. So the NFL should move to what the NBA do.
Right.
Just because you play quarterback don't mean – because if we keep going the route we're going right now, in the next 5 years, a quarterback going to make $70 million just because Dak Prescott going to make $60. And Patrick Mahomes, the one person that won 2 Super Bowls since he's been in the league, is making way less than all of them. But, and he's not money. To me, that's just damn not money hungry.
That just
I just want to get eyes paid.
Ocho, what I'm trying to tell you, man, is that look, the league done always catered to the quarterback. And either you're going to pay money to the quarterback or you're going to pay money to stop the quarterback. And that's edge rushers, right? But I'm going to tell you that, the interior play, defensive tackle is just as valuable as edge rushers, right? But that's just how it goes. When you're talking about teams that's willing to make that sacrifice, they take all logic and throw it out the window. And there will be a team, just like the Browns, that gave Deshaun Watson, who got caught up with all of the masseuses and all of this stuff that was going on. They gave that guy $250 million, something like that, guaranteed. $250 million without even throwing the ball and without even having news of the NFL is going to allow his brother to play. And they gave him guaranteed money because teams are desperate to have a quarterback. And as long as the supply is there, as long as the demand is there, guess what? A team will figure out a way, and that's unfortunately, that's unfortunate, bro. But I appreciate you for calling in.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. That's a good
No
call
problem.
from Too Cool. But that's just how it goes, man. It was 232. My bad, 232. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, that's just how the market is. The market is the market, unfortunately. And the salary cap, look, put it like this. What team suffered for playing their quarterback? Name me the team that suffered. Like you can say the Giants, but name me the teams. Oh, you want to use the Cardinals? Name me the team. You still going to have to pay the money. That's just the price of doing business. The only way that you can get in front of this if you pay early. Yeah. So let's go with the next caller from the 662 from my neck of the woods. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Oh, what's good, big dog?
Hey, man, all is good, man. All is good. Can't complain.
Man, I just left Nets about 2 weeks ago.
Bro, I'm thinking you still in the woods, man. Your phone going in and out, man.
Oh, hold on.
Where you at?
Well, I'm a truck driver, man.
Oh, you're driving trucks, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I got AirPods. I'll put my AirPod in if you'll give me a second.
Yeah. You got bad audio. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, dog, you here, man. All right.
Is it worse?
It's there. Make it real quick, and then I'll hang up and I'll answer your question there. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I didn't have a question. Pretty much I was just going to say, man, that a lot of people, they're talking about Dak, and a lot of people are talking about Dak and, you know, his situation with trying to get paid and things. Everybody keeps forgetting how the Cowboys were with, you know, when Romo got hurt and when Dak got hurt, you had to deal with the Matt Castles and, you know, the
Brandon Weeden.
Like
Yeah.
And you know, this guy, he's been doing all he has for this team. I mean, he doesn't get respect at all from the Joneses. And, you know, from them saying, oh, we only go as far as Dak goes this year, and look how far Dak took us without giving him a run game, or your run game is getting 30 yards every playoff game, or your defense not getting any takeaways, but they get takeaways all throughout the year. But on top of that, he gives you wins. You know, he gives you wins. I don't think he has a losing season since he's been with you. And we just don't show him any love, man. And, you know, I think this is more so for me just, you know, taking for Dak because, you know, for somebody that does everything right, he's like the girl that does everything right, but you still want the bad girl. You still want to go mess with the stripper, you know? But, I mean, but that's pretty much all I had to say about him, man. I appreciate, you know, you guys, what all you guys do. Sky, you, Landlord, you know, I mean, everybody, Bots, you know, you guys, you know, do a wonderful job, man. I just started listening to you guys about a year ago.
Right. So,
you know, I've been enjoying you guys a whole lot, man. I only have one question for you, though.
Go ahead.
So, do you feel that Jerry Jones and, you know, Stephen Jones, do you feel like it's more of I just don't respect you and I just don't have loyalty to certain people because Tony Romo and Jason Witten, they got their contracts, you know, no problem. But everybody else, they have to fight for a contract. You know, if it's not just you know, a money grab, you know, well, for them to save money, you know, basically.
Right.
But I hang up, but I just want to kind of get your feedback off that, man. I appreciate you for letting me on, man. And,
no doubt. Man.
I'm Chris from Mississippi, man.
What part of Mississippi, man? Which one of them counties, man?
I'm from the Delta, man.
Oh, from the Delta, man. All right, man. We might be kin folks, man. Shout out to Gentry High and all that, Ruleville and all of that. Appreciate you, though, bro.
I actually went to Gentry.
See, we keep talking. We be cousins, man. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
All right, dog.
No doubt, man. Shout out to Gentry, man. Let me say this, though. I think that we are missing some of the things that the Joneses, they do have relations, and they are ran by like a mom and pop store. Most of the business deals get done when you hang out with folks at the golf tournament, or you go to the picnic, or the eatery, or the business social functions and stuff like that. And Romo, he would go on trips with the Joneses, right? They would go and get drunk or what have you, and talk about things that's just not around football. Dak never accepted those options or went out with them on those particular trips. So the Joneses, they have a philosophy and a principle. And if they were willing to not pay Michael Irvin and he had the hell out, who is the hell is CeeDee Lamb, or who in the hell is Dak Prescott? Right? We played that clip a couple of weeks ago about Michael Irvin holding out till he got his money, right? It wasn't like a holdout for Emmitt Smith because he said his contract expired, but by the terms of holding out, technically, he didn't have a contract because the Joneses have a way that they like to approach things. And Emmitt Smith, who had 1,800 yards, led the league in touchdowns with a Super Bowl ring, had to fight for his money. So when you're talking about principles and philosophies, and sometimes people don't move unless they see the value tangibly, that could be the Joneses way. Think about it. Those are two guys that I just mentioned. They got a gold jacket, and they had to go and squeeze and fight for that coin. So what do you guys think that all of a sudden, is going to be a layup for Dak Prescott? What Dak Prescott got to do is do the very much so the same thing that those boys did. Dak is a little bit too nice, ladies and gentlemen. That's a problem. If he didn't show up, and if, like I said on my last video, if he didn't show up to training camp and preseason and say, hey, I'm going to be at the house at Dak Prescott camp, at my house, the Dak backyard, until I give me my money, this contract or whatever we talking about would have been done. But he's nice. He's out there. He's taking the risk. He's throwing the ball. Getting knocked around at camp, Well, not as much, but, anything can happen. Because he's showing up, and he's living the obligation of his contract. But Jordan Love says, hey, man, I got these last 9 games, and I just beat the Cowboys. Paid me $250 million. Green Bay, because I hold the high card. Who you going to bring in? Pay me. If y'all thought that nobody was out there in Oxnard, can you imagine if Dak Prescott didn't show up? Shoot, there were people showing up in Oxnard just to hate on him. They wouldn't have had room to hate on him, Yeah. So that's the bottom line. I got the next caller from the 409. What's on your mind? You're live on the Nation. Talk to me, man.
What's up, man? You just gave me the best segue because you said exactly what I was going into. This Dak Prescott thing. Now, we had discussions when he first signed this contract that we was going to be here at this time. A lot of people did not know. They lowballed him as a rookie. They put him on, a franchise tag twice.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is not playing with these fools. Now, all this speculation, all these people talking about Dak not a good quarterback. Man, Dak passed that a long time ago. I think he said it, in the press conference. He said, man, look, I've quit listening to that stuff a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is about the business of the business. When he signed that contract, he knew he was going to be right here at this time. A lot of people don't understand that, but he knew he was going to be right here at this time. And so did the Joneses. They knew they was going to have to come and do this. They knew this was coming. It wasn't like it took them by surprise. They could have been done this here. But as you said, they also think about the news cycle, making the story. You know what I mean? This probably going to be a Labor Day story. One way or the other.
Yeah, you might well squeeze it out all through Labor Day. Because they helping the NFL out. You look at the last topics of ESPN and Fox, they talking about, will Dak get his money? Is he deserving his money? Because they moved on from CeeDee Lamb stuff, right? Now it's Dak. So leading into no football this weekend, right? And it's a long weekend. Now they can talk about the Cowboys, and then Jerry, like I said, he's a brilliant guy. So next week, heading into maybe Thursday, that's when the first game is, right? Somebody plays somebody Thursday night. maybe you get this breaking news that Dak Prescott signed, or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, see, I would tell you this, there are people and for what they're going to do this Saturday night, and then there are other people that's going to plan for what they're going to do the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
Okay? My life has always been planned that where I'm going to be 3 years from now, where I'm going to be 5 years from now. My wife and I, we're going into retirement. So we taking it as in 3 years, this is where we want to be at, and that's what we work toward. Right. And the same, he's working toward doing certain things at certain times, and the Joneses, when you said the country club thing with, Romo and them going to country clubs and stuff. Hey, man, I worked in banking for 35 years, okay? And that was like, me being a black man, that was like the most lily white company I could be in.
Right.
So I went to their little things, but hey, man, I might be there an hour and then I'm going to my spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it was,
Yeah.
And, now at the job, maybe they didn't like me a whole lot, but I did my job so well that they had to accept me because I did my job well. I didn't have to go and hang out and smooth and kiss butt and all that. I just did my job. You know what I mean? So I got respect for doing my job, and I did it for 35 years.
Long time. Yeah.
But the thing is also I moonlighted as a DJ, and when I DJ'd, I loved doing that. That was so much fun.
Right.
But because I loved it and I would do it for free, I wouldn't do it for free because you get paid for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you get
Dak
paid
loved
for it.
playing football. He would do it for free, but you get paid for that, and he want to be compensated as such. And that's any man.
It's any man, man.
Except for
in closing,
except for the man that say,
yeah.
Okay, in closing. Let's move on, man. We're going to get this done.
Right.
The Browns, they down Chubb, and we working with two rookies on the offensive line. You went out to training camp, man.
Right.
Does this team look like they focused? Do they look like they working? See, because look, Mike McCarthy, Mike Zimmer, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb just got sold. These dudes is focused on trying to win football games. All that stuff, just like Dak say, man, I'm not listening to what Jerry and them saying because ultimately it's going to be what we do on this football field.
No doubt. Appreciate your point, Dexter, man. Let me hear you say it, man. Let me hear you say it, though. You got to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them? Yeah, DJ Point Dexter. I'm going to call you DJ now. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, indeed, man. You've been a banker for 35 years and been moonlighting as a DJ, man. And shout out to him. I would say to all of those points here, I don't think, like, it goes back to money first, football, and then whatever else in between. The money is always, the bag is already there. The bag is always in front of everything. And sometimes people can't get beyond their habits of thinking that this dude bought the team for $140 million or something like that, right? He haven't lost a dollar since he bought the team, right? So this team is now $11 billion or more. So he's not going to listen to us. All of us, we probably haven't even touched $1 million or touched $5 million or touched $10 million. So we can't even have input to what he's saying, right? Because he took $140 million and turned it into $11 billion plus. So I get what Jerry Jones is doing. He's not finna switch up his ways, right? That's working backwards. So he's money first, football, and then everything else. They probably got a whole committee now trying to figure out what they're going to do for the halftime for Thanksgiving, right? And what color of uniforms they got that they want to put out there. And how they going to spend this CeeDee Lamb thing. So that's just how that goes. I got 972, then I got the 217, then the 214. Y'all make it quick. 972, you live.
Okay, y'all.
What's good, man?
Y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think? Okay, I think we're gonna have a good year, but if it go bad, go get Shador Sanders and Deion Sanders, and then draft your son and then start all over like that. I know it's kind of far fetched, but
yeah. To predict that Shador and Dion as a package deal will be here before the season even kick off, it's going to be rough, bro. Because it'll be good far as entertainment for like what we said, money first, football second, and all of this other stuff. I get exactly what you're saying, but I don't think that this team will be as horrible enough to be in that sweepstakes. Just by Zim and Mike McCarthy alone, that's 7 wins right there, you know. So I don't see this team being a team that can only win 1 or 2 games. But I appreciate you, man. Something wrong with your phone line. But I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Good call from him, man. So we are talking like this could be the only team in the history of the NFL that went 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, but most people done heard so much negative news from the 3-letter or the 4-letter network or from their own fans, angry fans, to think that we are one of these teams that can be 2 or 3 win team. You don't become a 2 or 3 win team with the kinds of caliber of coaching staff that you have here, plus the value added. And no one is willing to take a year off of their production scale to prove a point that we're organically tanking for a new coach and a new unknown quarterback right now. You know, he's doing a good job, dare I say. Shador doing a good job in college. So y'all got to get out of that mindset. They done made y'all think that what you seen out of Daniel Jones is who Dak Prescott is. What they made y'all think is who you seen out of the preseason. I'm not beating up Trigger Trey. Of what y'all see out of Trigger Trey, is that who Dak Prescott is now? Nah, man. This team is hellified, talented in so many areas to not be on the bottom end of a lot of things. From the 217, you're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, Law, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great.
Hey, so there's one thing that I have never questioned about Dak Prescott, and we all can agree he's probably a top 10. No doubt he's a top 10 quarterback.
Right.
But he always gives you every ounce and morsel of his effort on the field. There's not a question of if he took a play off or if he didn't apply himself or none of that.
Right.
Is the management of the team giving the same effort that Dak gives on the field?
Hell no, hell no. But
Exactly,
they do
recall,
get this love though. They do get this love, and it's not the higher ups. I'm thinking somebody we're working with then like Will McClay and some other guys. Okay. They do go the extra mile, driving, scouting, and finding those guys that can help elevate this team. But go ahead, bro.
Well, I do recall a running back by the name of Derrick Henry being available. I do recall a running back by the name of Saquon Barkley being available. We would be much better off this all-in mentality that they're saying that we have for this team this year. And we would have a lot less doubts about Dak if he had the supporting cast in the way to elevate his game even further. Similar to how you have said many times, I heard you talk about the Eagles GM or the Eagles scouter or whatever.
Correct.
There is so much surrounding Jalen Hurts. There's no question on, oh, well, does he have enough?
Right.
Dak don't really I'm not going to say he don't have enough, but he has enough to win games. I don't know if there's enough around the team as a whole to take that next step and go further in the playoffs and eventually the Super Bowl. But what are your thoughts?
Man, you killed it, man. You killed it. Oh, my gosh, man. You're my favorite caller today. Here's the thing. You know, the Eagles betted with Hurts. The Cowboys betted against Dak. These are, and here's what happened. I think the Eagles, when they said, okay, all right, he's 9-8. They made it to the playoff. I don't know if they won that playoff game or they lost their first playoff game, but they saw something in Hurts, and they said, you know what? Let's give him another wide receiver. Let's re-solidify this run game. And very much so the next year they went to the Super Bowl, right? Because they added to and they didn't take away. So they said, okay, let's just build around him and let's continue to put things in front of him. Now, the Cowboys, you remember there were storylines of, can Dak Prescott win games? That was the argument. Can he win games without that offensive line, right? Can he win games without Ezekiel Elliott? Because we saw what happened in 2017 when he was on the field, off the field. And then they said, okay, can he do the wide receiver by committee? Or can we do the tight end by committee? So they took pieces away and they didn't add to. And the adding to was, I guess, when you look back at everything, a Hail Mary approach. Let's take a Hail Mary at Amari Cooper, who wasn't really doing a lot of good things in Raiders land, right? Let's take a look at that and see if that can help this team out, because our other plan with Allen Hurns and Cole Beasley and them didn't work out, right? So yeah, you are 1,000% right. The team, but then the argument would be for the 3-ladder and 4-ladder network that the Cowboys been doing everything. They've been doing equally. Here's how they spin it. They've been doing equally what the Eagles did for Hurts for Dak Prescott. That's how the argument is, you know.
Yeah, they're going to try to throw in the face. I've heard already on ESPN that how many all pros that they have and this, that, and the other. Yeah. But it's still, the job doesn't stop.
Right.
You're supposed to make the team as strong as it can so that you can be successful. Don't put him in adversity before he even hits the field.
Right. And that's just what it is. And then the Cowboys, some of the fans that's watched this and the 3-ladder and 4-ladder network, they with the mindset just because you pay the player that the results will be there as well. Like, we giving you this money, now go win the Super Bowl. And it don't work that way. Yeah. But I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
Hey, thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate the show. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you, man. Good call. What's your name, man? Let me lock you in.
Hey, this is the Good Hoodie channel, man.
The Good Hoodie.
Yeah, the Good Hoodie channel, man. I'll be with you all season.
Hey, man, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. And hey, y'all follow the Good Hoodie, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I need to get one of them hoods. I like a hoodie. Here's the thing, though, and I get it. Somebody say 2021. Most teams, after you've seen 2021, what you do after that? You build upon that. You don't take away. The Cowboys took away from 2021. They didn't build upon it. Go look it up, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been the ample enough time to build upon that, but not just say, hey, now that we got it, let's go win. No, it don't work that way. Life doesn't work that way, right? It's about consistency and beyond. And on top of that, heading into 2022, there was so many things that we had to just fight through the entire offseason, right? And we went back to the approach what we did in 2018. Wide receiver by committee. On top of that, that was, I would say, even CeeDee Lamb. In 2022, technically, his only second season with Dak Prescott, with a healthy Dak Prescott, and he had to miss 5 games with that. Think about that. He didn't play and perform the full year in 2020 because Dak got hurt. And we've seen CeeDee Lamb still able to put up some good numbers. Still, it was still like, okay, all right, he's a rookie. Then 2021 was his full season with each other, and they break that apart. And I was old enough to remember that even then people were putting too big of a shoes on CD. They said now CeeDee is supposed to do what Amari Cooper does. Now, if he really wants to be a number 1 wide receiver, he got to do X, Y, and Z. Whereas nobody else in the league had those type of ramifications. But I get it. 214, you're live on the Nation, brought to you by Prize Picks. You in the mix. Talk to me.
Well, are you okay mentally? Is everything good with you?
Hey, man, all the ways. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
Okay, I was just checking on you because, you never know what somebody going through,
Yeah.
But before we get off the phone, I did want to get your regular season prediction. But also, I just kind of wanted to add a little context to the quarterback conversation. I personally don't think that Jerry Jones is going to pay that.
Okay.
And if he does, before the season starts, then I come back on and I say I stand corrected.
Right.
I was wrong. Right. But as of right now, I just personally don't think that they're going to pay him.
Right.
And I just feel like Dak is going to get paid elsewhere. But also, I heard you was talking about just kind of like with the quarterbacks about Pat Mahomes and then Joe Burrow and,
right.
the defense. The thing that I say about that is that you need a difference maker at quarterback, even with a defense, because Brock Purdy has an all-time great defense. But because Brock Purdy is still like, he's average, but he's a little bit above average, but he's just efficient. He's not a difference maker.
Brock Purdy is a difference maker. When Brock Purdy himself will be a difference maker, or is a difference maker when you do have run game, though. When you have the running back that's giving you 3 or 4 yards per toe, then that opens up so many things for his reads to be better, right? For him to find soft spots in the zone and for him to see, okay, all right, single high safety. I know I have the one-on-ones to the outside. There's no disguising that because they are in fear of CMC. They are in fear of the end around. They got to be responsible to know that even when your boys line up in the backfield, Debo, that takes away at least 2 players. So now I have safety valves. I don't think that the Cowboys can operate like that in the last few years when you go to the postseason. Everything condenses, right? So when we mention Joe Burrows, right, we got to also mention the 1 year that he had that magical run going all the way to the Super Bowl, right? He had a top 5 defense that year in the postseason, and he had Joe Mixon, who had 17 touchdowns on the ground. And 1,300 yards rushing. But what most people do, they forget all about that and say it was only Joe. Behind that horrid offensive line, that somehow magically Joe Mixon was still able to accumulate 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. That's crazy. But go ahead.
So I respectfully disagree on the Brock Purdy point. It's not me trying to argue. I'm just saying, like, I just don't agree with the Brock Purdy part. Brock Purdy himself is not a difference maker. He's just efficient.
Right.
But like when you put a quarterback like a Brock Purdy, like one of those type of guys, when you put them up against a Joe Burrow or Pat Mahomes, he's going to lose because those are difference makers in the league. And I'm gonna jump to Pat Mahomes right quick, and then I'm gonna jump to Joe Burrow.
Correct.
And then I want to get your regular season prediction before we get off. With the Bengals, my main thing with them is that yes, they have a defense, but Joe is what make the whole team go. Without Joe, the Bengals don't do nothing. And they've proven that since their inception. Without Joe, the Bengals go nowhere. The defense does step up, but they have a difference maker at quarterback. That's the reason why they went to the Super Bowl, over the Pat. With Pat, the defense, he has a phenomenal opportunistic defense, but without Pat, they don't win Super Bowls. So I'm saying all that to say, yes, the defense and the quarterback, they go hand in hand, but if you do not have a difference maker at quarterback, you will not win.
Well, let me say this just to counter. Without Dak Prescott, we can make the same argument that the Cowboys were 4-12 the year 2015, right? That's before Dak Prescott got here. And then when he was hurt that year in 2020, they were 6-10. Now, we can argue and say, well, with Cooper Rush, he's the outlier, right? Because he's 5-1 when given the opportunity. Well, all 5 of the wins that when he was in the field or play, the Cowboys average at the most 28 ranked in offense, and they only allowed the only 5 wins that they allowed was when they held the team under 20 points. So I don't think that would be tangible enough for as evidence to say, well, in the last 3 seasons, if you get rid of Dak Prescott and have Cooper Rush, that we would have the same outcome.
I'm damn sure saying that.
Yeah. But that's what a lot of people will apply with those numbers. So a lot of people think that without Dak Prescott, we will be the people that try to hit that angle there, that we will be a better team, which is far from the truth.
What's your regular season prediction?
I think that, we're going to go 13. We're going to win at least 13 games. And I've been saying that for the last 3 years now. So it's crazy. But I appreciate you for calling in.
Yes, indeed.
That's a good call from my guy Darius from the 214. And I get it, man. If the Cowboys decide to say, okay, we would take the Hail Mary approach and just not pay Dak Prescott, that means that you have to bank on the fact that either he get hurt this year or he performed less than what he did last season. No quarterback in an installment year, if you guys do your homework, in an installment year, present these type of numbers. They was doing new installs on offense last year. But let me go. We got to make this hasty, but I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in. The next caller, $100,000 with the plan from the 201. What's on your mind?
Listen, man. You know, they're not going to pay Dak Prescott. It's very unfortunate. That's my quarterback.
Yeah.
But I seen my quarterback of the future perform yesterday. He did his damn thing.
Yeah.
I seen him hit. I seen him spin out of tackles. I seen him work behind a center that was trash yesterday. He was garbage. And I seen my quarterback throw dots.
Dimes. Who that quarterback? Who's your quarterback?
Threw dots yesterday.
Who that?
Shador threw dots.
Shador
dots yesterday. He stood under the fire. He got.
Damn, nigga. What you on? He got to go through the whole season.
They don't want to pay Dak Prescott. They want to be shameful and don't want to pay Dak. Hey, Jerry, sell the farm and get Shador. Take all the picks. Get number one and get Shador. That's the only way I stand behind them not paying Dak.
Bro.
That's the only way. If
Bro,
you want to take another
crazy,
quarterback, and then you're trash. Go get Shador now.
Hey, we all like the storyline of Shador, and then you know, shout out to Jackson State, man. He was able to help me out. Yeah. No. I understand. I understand it from the entertainment part of it. I agree. You know, they watching the channel now. Hey, shout out to the Sanyers Jr. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well off media. Shoot, I can call him. We can be well off media law. You know what I'm saying? But to predict that we're gonna be trash, you know, before the season start and not even give a chance to fight this season out. To see the outcome, to already put Shador in that room that he's going to be him or Archie Manning or Arch Manning, whoever it may be, it's crazy, man. We got to get through this first, you know.
No, I'm not saying Cowboys go out there and be trash, Lo.
Right. And I know you're not saying it, but that's what a lot of people are implying. Even the 3-letter and the 4-letter networks that make up this particular story.
I'm saying. If we got I almost cursed on you. If we got to give up 3 number ones to go get Shador, go get them. Because if you ain't gonna pay Dak Prescott, what are you doing? You need to give up the form to get number one so we can go and get Shador. What did Will McClay say? We don't rebuild. This ain't no rebuild. That's what Will McClay got offended.
Yeah.
We don't rebuild. We restock. So that's at the quarterback. We restock. We got CD Lamb. We got weapons.
We do.
You ain't gonna put no 7th round quarterback behind here. You ain't gonna go out there and get. But
ultimately, what we done did, if you gonna pay CD Lamb and not have no contingency plan, that's like buying. Look, I'm gonna pay my light bill, my water bill for the year. You know, before I put anything on this mortgage, man, I'm gonna pay all the lights. You think the mortgage company gonna say, "Hey, man, you know, we're gonna give you the keys since you got the light bill and the water running"? Hell no, that's working backwards. We're gonna buy the car before we buy the house. It's crazy. No.
Right, and that's the last thing. Do you want to disgruntle CD Lamb if you don't pay Dak? You want a CD Lamb that's going to be disgruntled and don't want to practice and don't. Come on, you don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
Trust me, he will do it.
Yeah, he will do it, man. So, hey, man, I appreciate you for calling in, bro. Thank you for calling in, man. $100,000.
No doubt, bro.
No doubt, man. And I get it, man. You know, people literally act like Dak is trash, and I don't even use that word. They acting like he's trash. That's the strangest thing of all. Like, they acting like anybody can do this. Put Law Nation at quarterback, man. You know, he may not have a jump shot, but man, I trust Law Nation before I trust Dak. I mean, like, no, don't give me that. Even Cooper Rush reading like, man, I'm not him like that. No. Come on, man. Even Trey Lance to a degree is saying, nah, man, yeah, y'all might think I'm him, but I'm not him Nah, I might be us or we or they, but I'm not him. You know, I got the next caller on from the 432, and then we have the 803. Y'all make it quick. 432, you're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Is there anything specific that we got to say?
Man, it could be the quarterback situation or the season. Whoever one you want to pick. But I got to do a hard cutout before 12. I could be somewhere. Go ahead.
So my thing is, me and my grandpa, we were talking about this the other day, and I want to get your opinion on it. So do you think that Dak will get signed before the season starts or halfway through the season?
I think that if he gets signed before the season starts, then that will be the situation. But through the season, I don't think that he would get signed through the season. I think it's going to be Dak Prescott breaking news. He gets signed before the season kickoff, and if not, then they'll go through the whole rigmarole.
All right.
Yeah.
And just a few more questions. If we were to trade Micah Parsons to any team, who do you think would be a perfect fit for this team if we were able to trade Micah Parsons to anybody?
For a player, I don't think they would do a player for a player. They would have to do draft picks or something like that. But now, yeah. Go ahead, say again.
Just either one, just like if you wanted to get draft picks or like if you wanted to do a player for a player. Like if you were to do it, like which one would you do?
There's only one person that I would trade to fleece player, and then you get multiple draft picks, would be for Pat Surtain. I'll do that, and then I'll get like I want 4 first-round draft picks, and pray, you know. But outside of that, Parsons to me is untradeable because you don't have an edge rusher, period, right, on your team. And if you don't have edge rushers, you know, now we going back through that cycle. But only one player that I think that was as far as age-wise and probably would fit right on in would be Pat Surtain. But that's even crazy, right? Because and then I want them first-round draft picks too, you know, and we'll swap it. Yeah. But it's equivalent for us to see Myles Garrett gone, you know, for Bosa to be traded, for T.J. Watts to be traded. That will be crazy for those teams to even consider. So that's how it is sounding from here, for us to even consider trading Parsons away. But I appreciate you, man, for calling in. Yep. All right. That's a good call from him. So y'all get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying getting it's not gonna be straight up Parsons for Pat Surtain. No. I'm thinking about shut down DBs, and there'll be a lot of coverage sacks out here. yeah. So it'll be one of those type of things. And I got to get them first round draft picks. But y'all let me know in the chat, who would you trade a player for Micah Parsons, and what return what you would get. Garcia says Pat Surtain is a monster, and it wouldn't even be a straight up Pat for doggone Parsons. It would have to be Pat for Parsons plus give me multiple first round draft picks for it, you know. Next caller from the 803, my guy Coach Marv. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
All right, Lord, I know you gotta get out of here. Let me shoot it to you right quick. One, you there, Law?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, one, I heard y'all was talking about the Cook stuff yesterday. David Cook, and that's a great pickup for the practice squad. Great insurance. The only question I have with Cooks, if Baltimore didn't keep him and they want to run the football, then I got a question about what he got left in the tank.
Okay.
Because that's what they do. If they let him walk out the door to bring another guy in, then I got a question.
Yeah.
And they already have him in the building. So, and they had a chance to look at him for 2 or 3 weeks to know if he would have been better the next year. So, and they let him walk out of the building.
Yeah.
So, and that offense fits him perfectly for what he does. So, That's the only thing I have, but I think what they're going to utilize him to do, they're not going to ask him for a full load. They want that 1-2 punch, and they want that punch of what they had 2 years ago when they got almost 2,000 yards rushing from the running back position and 24 touchdowns. Nobody can compare with that in the league. I think they're the only team that had two backs almost at 1,000 yards 2 years ago. So, again, and I want to say this about Dak Prescott. I defend Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is an outstanding quarterback. I think he's but I can't defend the guy no more than he defends himself.
Right.
And he don't have to say that I need a contract. He needs to come out and say straight up.
Yeah.
If I don't have no contract, this is my last year in Dallas.
If he'd have said that, it'd have been easier. Yeah, it'd have been easier.
And put it out there and say, well, this is my last year in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'll be moving on after this year, but I'm gonna give you everything I got. I'll be moving on after this year.
Yeah, that would have been
And if I got to move on for a little bit less, I'll move on because it's about respect type thing.
Right.
And you're not gonna get in no bidding war, and that's just point blank.
Yeah.
Is to say, hey, I'm under contract this year. I don't want to leave my teammates, but I'm moving on.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
This is it.
And that's it. And he can leave it at that. And if they don't get the contract done, then like he said, that tells him something. But if he doesn't say it for himself, how can we defend it? And I say this, and I say it in this reason why law.
Right.
Is because we expect the other people outside the family to move the goalposts.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
It is a travesty when your own organization and your own fan base continue to move the goalposts.
Talk to him, Coach. Oh, my God.
This is where the goalposts is being moved more. If he has a great game, what is he going to do in the playoffs? If he got to prove it this year, he got to have another year. He's got to do this, he got to do that. It's your own fan base that's moving the goalposts. And the only reason why the fan base is moving the goalposts and the 3-letter and the 4-letter network is jumping on this because the atmosphere was set by the organization of disrespect when they should have been handling this thing and throwing out those, we love him, but then throw out a line of skepticism playing the middle of the field. And Dak Prescott allowed them to continue to play the middle of the field instead of standing on his own and say, listen here, I love Dallas, but I can get paid someplace else. And if I love football, it don't have to be in Dallas.
Man,
football, it's not the only place it's played in Dallas. It's played all over the United States. So if he wants to play, if football is his love, it don't have to be Dallas.
No doubt,
so if he puts his foot down on that, then it will get to a point where we'll move forward. And I think the fans will respect it more. But if he allowed them to keep playing the middle of the road and keep moving the goalposts, then our fan bases and our organization is going to continue to move the goalposts. And that's where the treason comes in, when your own fan base and your own ownerships keep moving the goalposts of your success.
Man, hey, I got no rebuttal to that. Coach, appreciate you, man. You have a great weekend, bro.
Well, you too, man. Have a great holiday, fella.
Yes, indeed, man. Good call from Coach Marv, man. Got like 8 more people that's in the queue, man. We're not going to be able to get to y'all.
Goodbye.
But I just want to say this. Thank everybody that's been watching. I had one deal that I want to say about Coach Marv. Derrick Henry, who they picked up for the Ravens, he averaged 4.2 yards per tote, north of 1,100 yards last season, and 12 touchdowns. They paid him, and he had forced 57 missed tackles and over 23 yards of explosive yards of 10 or more runs from your big guy. So there's only one football, and then you have to play the action with what you call that guy, Lamar Jackson. And they coming off of a year where they had number 1, number 2 respectfully defense in the National Football League. The Ravens should see themselves, if healthy, in the Super Bowl. They should see themselves. So the run game help out the defense help out the run game with them. They should, since they have the MVP And that's who they gave the MVP of the league to. A guy that's averaging 4.2 yards, 12 total touchdowns. No. 13 total touchdowns from last season. Yeah. That's a lot, of weaponry. Not saying that Derrick Henry is going to be that same person, but 9 times out of 10, that's a better offensive line. Don't y'all know that the Titans had one of the worst offensive line of all of football last year? And the Ravens is one of the best offensive line? They should be, if healthy, they should be a phenomenal team over there. But I just want to say this too, with the Dak Prescott thing, I agree. 1,000,000%. Either you're going to shit or get off the pot, right? And the Cowboys, they play around and they move the goalposts from within on their own team. We the only ones that do this, by the way. The only one. And it's crazy. It's kind of like it's election season. And those who give their reigning endorsements, they're not in the middle saying, I'm all in for Trump. I'm all in for Kamala and them. No, they say, hey, I'm donating my money, my resources to Team Kamala. I'm donating, giving in all of my resources to Donald Trump. There's no, hey, I don't know. Trump, he got to sway me a little bit more. Nah, it's either Trump or is it going to be Kamala? Is Harris? And the truth of it all, ladies and gentlemen, is that you guys too can also have a reigning endorsement for Law Nation. Under this particular deal here, vote for Law Nation and check out our sponsors for this today's show, and check out all what they do as far as one of the award-winning cannabis companies, the gummies, Via. So be sure to check out them if you are in need of being revived. They even got some out here for the chemistry of love making. They even got that out here as one of the high loves over here. They got some THCs that will get you going for the right direction. So appreciate everybody for jumping in and tuning in to these type of episodes. Be sure to hit the like, share this content, let friends or neighbors know where to go when it's time to talk about Cowboys football and beyond. But at the end of the day, whether you are for Trump, whether you are for Harris, because that's the right way to say it, right? It's a line of disrespect when you mention someone from by their first name. So it's already given, that a lot of people will only mention the last name to one and then the first name to the other, right? It's supposed to be the Harris administration and the Trump administration, right? That's the first line of respect. When you talk somebody by their last name. But neither here nor there. Cowboy Nation, on our way out. The race is not to the swift nor the battle to the mighty. It's to he that endures to the end. And we got to do some enduring. It's not Cowboys versus the Browns, week 1. It's Cowboys literally versus everyone, including our own fan base. Where's our endorsements? Where's the campaign for the boys? When are y'all going to line up and lace them up to be all in with us? I get it, what the front office, the back office, the side office is doing. But what about the team? All offseason, we talking about Lance versus Rush. Zeke, oh man, he's washed. Oh man, he won't be able to do this. Oh, man, BB versus Hoffman. Should Tyler Guyton get a spot? He should be. A lot of people were crying about the Guyton pick. Oh, Lord. Here we go, man. He don't know football. Tyler Guyton, of all the films I watch, he don't understand football. But now, he getting praises. He getting flowers and water and everything else. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, where do you align yourself to? Huh? Are you Team Cowboys? And if you're Team Law, Put a LAW in the chat. Yeah. When I first started this stream, people saying, hey, is this church or are we talking football? We talking life. That there will always be someone that's gonna shank you and stab you in the back with the knife. Twice as long as it needs to be. There was always gonna be an enemy from within. They said, Lord, what happened to all your mods? Well, there's an enemy from within. Somebody was blocking folks. I couldn't put a finger to it. And I reached out to YouTube and they said, go this way. That will be the best way. So if you're a mod here, I want you to still be a mod for Law, but in the ways of different ways. You can show your love by sharing this content. You can show your love by letting people know that Law Nation speaks the truth. And even when he's not on the truth aspect of it, he would at least listen. Write this down. If there's one thing a man should always do, is mainly to himself stay true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring or mean makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices will turn those hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was brother our robber, brother rover brothers. The morals of life: live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who would try to be smart. They would take the decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. People fail to realize that even Jesus Christ washed the feet of Judas, knowing that he's going to stab him in his back, knowing that he's going to sell him for silver and gold and rubies. How many people out there is willing to hang with the person that's going to turn you over and split you apart? How many people is going to be at the mercy seat of knowing that the enemy is within? Knowing that all of the good stuff that you do, that they will still stab you in your back when they get the opportunity. Come on with it. Let me know where I'm lying. And as you can do something as humble as still to wash the feet of your enemy, is something spectacular. How many of y'all washing the feet of your enemies now? How many of y'all are willing to go through the lowdown and be in the woods and be able to get out of it, knowing that I'm fighting for what I need to know, what is right? And that is, we them boys, the Dallas Cowboys, win, we still here. Lose, we still here. Draw, we still here. And I want somebody to fight for Law Nation the same way. Win, you're here. Even when I'm losing, even when I'm down on my back, y'all know if Law can look up, I'm gonna get up, baby. Yeah. How many of y'all are still willing to roll with Law Nation and still be here? Whether you're a mod or whether you're a membership SWAT or whether you just, hey, I'm here for the first time. I just like what this brother is doing. Man, that beard look good on him. Man, that boy over there look good over there. I just want to follow the dude. I want to be able to touch and get some of this glory. Yesterday, come on, baby, come on. And at the end of the day, Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on, baby.
Spartans! Prepare for glory!
That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Hey, Well Off Media. Shador. Well, I got you right here. Come on. I got you, baby. You gotta believe. Yeah, I believe.
What more do you
We about roll those credits, baby. Come on. Until next time.
I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check the song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count up. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Destiny arrives all the same.